Okay, let's take a look at one-dimensional arrays in Java. Um, let's create a double array containing a list of numbers and get the average. So one way of doing that is to create the double array. Let's go ahead and call it num1. Okay, we do have to determine a size for this array. That will be the number of elements it contains. So we use the keyword new. Okay, it's going to be a double. And then for this example, let's do 3 elements. Okay, if we wanted to add values into this array or elements into this array, we can do that one by one. So num1, and then we would index into it. So arrays in Java start at 0, and we could add a value in there like 4.3. Num1, we would move to next index 1, 4.5, and then num1, then 2, index 2, okay, maybe 6.7. So we could do that. So this is how we would manually input them. Another way to create an array, if we already know the list of numbers that are going to be included, we can do it at once. So we could do the declaration and the initialization at once. So let's do that. Let's do double array. Let's call that num2. Okay, we're going to use curly brackets here. We'll do 3.4, 5.6, 2.1, 6.7, and 9.0. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. Okay, so this is another way to do it. If we already have the list and we want to do it at once, we can do that instead of going one by one. Another thing too with arrays is that once you give it a size, you can't change that. So if you make it too small, you're not going to be able to add more elements than whatever size you determined. So we have to be careful with that. Okay, let's go ahead and run through an array. Okay, we're going to transverse the array. One way to do that is with a for loop. So we're going to try to get the average of num2. There's 5 elements, so let's do that. Let's get a double. We'll call it result. We'll initialize it to 0. Okay, and then we're going to do a for loop. Okay, I is going to be equal 0 because of the 0 index, and then I is going to run till it hits 4. Okay, and we're going to increment each loop by 1. Okay, so result is going to be plus equals whatever is contained in num2 at I index, right? So whatever is in that index. So it's going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then it's going to continuously keep adding it to result. Okay, so now what we have to do is print out a result here. Okay, we're determining the average is, okay, we're going to use string concatenation here. Okay, and then our result has a total. We're going to divide that by 5.0 so that we can get our average. And then let's go ahead and run that. Okay, and here we see that our average for num2 is 3.56. So as you can see, there are multiple ways to create an array. The first part here is just if you want to give it a if you want to keep it empty at first, but you know the size, or you can kind of guess what size you want, you can do that. Then you can manually go in to each index and add a value or element to it. If you already have the list of elements, you can just do that at once. And then you can transverse an array using a for loop, for example. And that's it.